We've got an awesome lineup. It's our first episode of 2021, and we are going to focus on one question, as you know. What does the modern media plan look like in 2021? Next up, Mandy Rassi, Vice President, Head of Marketing for the Kroger Company. Mandy leads marketing across Kroger's $120 billion business that spans 22 retail banners, 2,800 physical stores, and a seamless e-com platform. Her team includes brand strategy, planning, performance marketing, media, and Kroger's internal creative agency. Prior to joining Kroger, Mandy spent 14 years at P&G. Welcome, Mandy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi.
I like your painting.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, and let's just get right into the core, which is how is one of the largest leading supermarket retailers in the country thinking about marketing, from a media planning standpoint? Like from your standpoint, when I say what does the modern media plan look like in 2021, the real question there is you got the lower funnel, you got the mid funnel, you got the upper funnel, AKA, social media, OTT, you got television, as a supermarket, direct mail and coupon. There's a lot going on in your world. 120 billion sounds like a big girl number. So is there anything, because of the COVID situation and or the modern consumer shifts, is there anything getting a bigger piece of the pie, or any interesting insight that you can share for the people that are thinking about this?
Yeah, lots has changed. I think COVID, obviously, in the grocery retail business and all things food, as Andrea talked about too, is a big shift, right? Everybody's eating at home far more than they did before. People aren't out driving around. The way you think about whether you want to go to a store or not, and the implications on e-commerce have just been massive this year, really accelerating the innovation in some positive ways as well. The challenge we have is exactly what you laid out. We have all the things, right? We can send coupons personalized for you directly to your house, or you can access them in our app, all the way to like the typical top of funnel stuff. And we have a ton of data. And in many ways, that's very useful. But the challenge is having it all be connected and integrated as we think about the data that we have. So in an average month, we have about 11 million people who are coming through our doors. And then if you think about that on an annual basis, it's a big number. So we have a lot of data. And it can be easy to get in the details of that and try to measure everything. And we do measure a lot of things to help it drive our choices. But some of it is like back to basics right now, when everything feels a little bit frenetic, is really stepping back to who are the key customers that we need to be relevant to, and what do they actually need, and why are we uniquely suited to help them? And I think really coming back to those brass tacks of the needs people have, which in the food space actually haven't changed that much. They just get amplified.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume, sorry to interrupt, I would assume a lot more people are cooking at home, which means they're going to choose you as the infrastructure for that versus going to a restaurant. That must have some interesting shifts. And I think the other thing that, if people aren't very educated about this marketplace, the margins that you play with are so small. Food goes bad. Like the supermarket industry, the reason the companies have become so big is you need scale to really make it work, because it's a very challenging business.
You got it. And then like imagine now being the marketer or managing the media budget in a very margin tight environment. Each dollar needs to work really hard. And that's where I think we just have to be very focused on who are the customers that we need to win with? What do they need right now? And how is this context impacting all of those food jobs that they have? And then really build a plan, looking across that whole content ecosystem to think about when do those moments happen and how are they different for you, for me, at 8 o'clock today, at 4 o'clock today, at midnight, to really have a detailed plan. But in some ways, the plan is so big, you can't control it, right? So I don't see everything that goes out. It would be literally impossible.
Of course, you have people, that's why you have to build a great team.
Totally, and be crystal clear on the audiences, the needs we're trying to meet, and what our business objectives are, and sort of the intersection of those things, because then you can kind of set up the machine to go off and deliver those things. But if we're not clear at the start, then you have total chaos because we have so much data. You can optimize a channel all day long if you like to, but it won't necessarily get us where we need to go in the total picture if it's not in service of a common objective.
Speaking of target audiences, Phil Smoke again says, Gary, bring on a marketer to help the little guys grow and showcase their tactics. Big brands have big budgets and most of your viewers are working on the come up. Philip, I would say, back to the way I think everybody should be thinking, grocers and you, brother, is, as you are aware, I put out 50 to 70 pieces of content a day, and I would argue 79 to 90% of that actually is for SMBs and entrepreneurs. More than half the viewers of this right now are corporate Fortune 5,000 individuals or marketers. The comments are normally where more of the entrepreneurs are, but the consumption of this. So Philip, it's funny. The question is so right? I could have so much empathy. Marketing for the now is absolutely a Fortune 500 ecosystem. I do think when you think about the dynamics that come from these big brands, there are takeaways to your point, but on the micro stuff, that's what I'm doing on a daily basis. So for others thinking like Philip, I just wanted to address that. Back to you, Mandy. Any new platforms part of your media mix this year?
We have shifted. I don't know if there's anything that is totally new. Gaming probably would be the one that we want to get into this year that we've not been in. But it's a big shift of where we've been, right? Grocery retail has not always been the most innovative from a media point of view, and we do need to reach a lot of people. But I think we've been over invested for too long in some very traditional places where, frankly, people just aren't engaging to all the things the people before me said and the points you made. So really thinking about the places, frankly, where I can use the data more. I know the ROI is significantly higher as long as we get the content right to kind of fit that context. And that's really
let's talk about that ecosystem. You know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, YouTube, anything kind of that you're excited to dig deeper into, or actually even a more interesting question, anything that you were able to take advantage of maybe some of the found time in COVID life that allowed you to become a little bit more of a practitioner or detail oriented? Back to your point, you're way up here. One of the things that was a really interesting observation for me is like, ooh, my combos are getting better because I'm in the dirt, Mandy. Back to Philip's point earlier, because of my brand and what I do, I'm so in the trenches that there's a level of practitionership that I bring in the agency Fortune 500 ecosystem that's quite different than the industry I'm in. I was excited to see a lot of marketers take advantage of COVID to get more in the trenches, look under the hood, because they found back time of travel and things of that nature. Did you have that luxury, or was there too much going on? Or did you have anything like that kind of said, oh, wait a minute, I didn't realize how good this was working, or this is interesting, anything stand out when I go that narrow?
Branded social, for sure. And we had a gift in a way. There was a lot of immediate stuff we had to get out, but there was a lot of stuff that also got turned off. When you think about the weekly promotional stuff that we get a lot of word out on, got turned off in April and May. And we were able to reinvest into some places we'd wanted to do more. And I will say branded social, as we've gotten better at the content matching the platform, frankly, we've, I think, done better with our influencer strategy, which food is, by the way, a pretty fun space for.
Fun
And especially when people are cooking at home and looking for ideas and all that, it's been a really fun playground to be in. And as we really tighten the lens to be more about food inspiration, having some fun with it, getting tighter, frankly, getting more diverse in our influencer mix has been a very big focus for us this year. And as we would all expect, that works. People want to see people who look like them. They want to see a diverse representation. And I'm very proud.
Go figure.
Right.
Is Twitch part of the media spend because gaming's in, or is it more about doing influencer work, or is it more on the content side distributed in different platforms?
So we're working through it now. I can't share all of it. I will say it won't be Twitch because they're owned by a competitor, which creates some challenges for us there, but also on some of the streaming platforms that creates just some places where we're not going to go right now.
I think that's fair. With that said, it's great to see you. Continued success, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.